Have you ever stood in the meat aisle staring at all the options and just wondered, am I really getting the best quality for my money here? Or worse, you get home only to find that package has leaked all over your other groceries. Yep, we've all been there. Choosing the right place to buy meat for your family can feel like a big decision. And let's be honest, not all grocery stores are created equal, especially when it comes to the meat counter. We get it. It's not simple. That's exactly why we've done all the homework for you. In today's video, we are taking a hard look at 7 of the most popular grocery store chains across Canada, and we're ranking them from the very worst to the absolute best, based on what really matters: the quality of the meat, the transparency of their practices, and your overall shopping experience. Will your go-to store make the top of the list? Or is it time you found a new favorite spot? You might be very surprised by what we found. Number 5, Loblaws. Now we know what you're thinking. Loblaws? The biggest grocery chain in the country? But hear us out, because the evidence is difficult to ignore. In January 2025, a CBC News investigation uncovered something that should concern every Canadian shopper. Loblaws was caught overcharging customers by selling underweighted meat across at least 80 stores for an undisclosed period that ended in December 2023. How did this happen? The stores were weighing meat with the packaging included, which is a clear violation of federal regulations. You were literally paying beef prices for plastic trays. This might seem like a small issue, but when you calculate it across thousands of transactions over months or years, those cents add up to millions of dollars being taken from Canadian consumers. A Manitoba woman named Iris Griffin blew the whistle after discovering the ground beef she bought at a Superstore in Winnipeg was 134 grams short of what the label stated. She calculated she was overcharged nearly 8% on that single purchase. And here's what's truly frustrating. When the Canadian Food Inspection Agency was notified about the issue in 2023, they didn't even visit a single Loblaws store to investigate. They conducted the investigation by phone and email and issued 0 fines because the company said they fixed the problem. But did they? Almost a year later, CBC News found packages of underweighted chicken at a Loblaws store in Toronto. The problem clearly wasn't fully resolved. And the issues don't stop there. In 2024, shoppers began noticing something strange in the meat department. Steaks labeled as ungraded beef started appearing on shelves. While grading isn't mandatory in Canada, most Canadians expect to see AAA or AA grade beef from a premium grocer like Loblaws. Ungraded beef means you have no way of knowing the quality of what you're buying. The marbling could be excellent, or it could be tough and chewy. It's essentially a mystery. Consumer reviews consistently mention inconsistent meat quality, with some reporting tough steaks and ground beef with odd textures. For a store that positions itself as a premium option, these are concerning patterns. Our verdict? If you're shopping at Loblaws for meat, check every label carefully. Weigh your purchases at home and be aware that you might not be getting what you paid for. Number 4, Real Canadian Superstore. Now, given that Real Canadian Superstore is owned by Loblaw companies, many of the same issues we just discussed apply here. In fact, the underweighted meat scandal that sparked the CBC investigation actually started at a Superstore in Winnipeg. That's where Iris Griffin discovered her ground beef was short by 134 grams. But the problems at Real Canadian Superstore go beyond the weighing scandal. Consumer reviews consistently highlight concerns about meat quality and freshness. One shopper reported a Thanksgiving turkey that was completely rotten, describing the customer service response as patronizing and unapologetic. Others have noted that the meat section often feels picked over, with limited selection and products that have clearly been sitting for extended periods. There's also the issue of imported ungraded beef. Like Loblaws, Superstore has been selling beef from Mexico and other countries that is completely ungraded by Canadian standards. One shopper posted a photo of ungraded Mexican beef at their local store, questioning what kind of meat they were actually buying. While imported beef must still be inspected by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, it doesn't have to meet Canadian grading standards. The other major concern is transparency. Despite having Canadian right there in the name, many shoppers have expressed frustration at the difficulty of finding out where their meat actually comes from. Country of origin labeling can be confusing, and store staff aren't always able to provide clear answers. On the positive side, Superstore does offer competitive prices and occasional deals on meat products. If you're on a tight budget and willing to inspect your purchases carefully, you might find acceptable options here. But if quality and transparency are your priorities, you may want to look elsewhere. At number 3, we have Sobeys, one of Canada's other major grocery chains. Sobeys presents an interesting case. On paper, they have strong food safety commitments. Their corporate website emphasizes that they work closely with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, Health Canada, and the Public Health Agency of Canada. They claim to have robust quality assurance programs and third-party audits of their suppliers. But there's a disconnect between the corporate messaging and what shoppers are actually experiencing in stores. In the same CBC investigation that exposed Loblaws, Sobeys-owned stores were also caught selling underweighted meat. At a Freshco store in Toronto, Freshco is owned by Sobeys, CBC found packages of underweighted pork, chicken, and beef. The calculated overcharge was 7% on a $38 bill. Think about that for a moment. If you're spending $38 on meat, you're losing nearly $3 to packaging weight. Multiply that by your weekly shopping trips over a year, and we're talking about real money. More recently, underweighted ground beef was found at a Sobeys-owned store in the Halifax area, with a 6% overcharge. When confronted with these findings, Sobeys spokesperson Karen White-Boswell simply thanked CBC for alerting the grocer and stated that, on the rare occasions when an error occurs, we respond immediately. But for shoppers who trusted the company, that response feels inadequate. Consumer reviews of Sobeys meat departments are decidedly mixed. Some customers praise the quality of their products, but others describe finding gray ground meat, dealing with rude staff, and experiencing quality issues with everything from steaks to prepared foods. One reviewer stated bluntly that the quality, especially fresh produce and meats, is just outrageously bad. There's also an animal welfare concern worth mentioning. Animal Justice, a Canadian animal protection organization, has conducted undercover investigations into Sobeys supply chains and has called on the company to publish a clear timeline for transitioning to cage-free eggs, suggesting that corporate promises haven't been fully kept. Our verdict on Sobeys? The corporate commitment to quality exists on paper, but the in-store reality is inconsistent. If you shop here, inspect your purchases carefully, and don't assume that a higher price means higher quality. Number 2, no frills. Now we get it. No Frills is a discount grocer, and you might expect some trade-offs when you're paying lower prices. But there's a difference between trading off fancy store displays and trading off the integrity of the meat you're feeding your family. No Frills is owned by Loblaws companies, and the underweighted meat scandal directly affected these stores. CBC News found underweighted chicken, pork, and ground beef at a No Frills in Calgary. The chicken breasts had been weighed with the packaging, and the plastic tray accounted for the missing weight that customers were paying for at meat prices. But here's the thing about No Frills that sets it apart from its parent company. The discount model means that corners get cut in ways that directly affect the meat department. Consumer reviews consistently mention that the meat, vegetables, and fruit go rotten really quickly. This suggests potential issues with how long products sit on shelves before being purchased or how they're stored. There's also the butcher's choice branding issue. No Frills has started labeling fresh meat with their Butcher's Choice store brand. Some shoppers have noticed this is used to prevent price matching because other stores don't carry the same branded product. But here's what's important to understand. The Cargill meat plant in High River, Alberta, processes more than 1/3 of all beef sold in Canadian stores. The brand label is often just marketing, not a meaningful quality difference. The freshness issue at No Frills is significant. Multiple reviewers have noted that discounted meat often looks like it's been sitting for too long, and even the 50% off stickers don't make it worthwhile because the product is already compromised. Our verdict? No Frills might save you money up front, but the meat quality trade-offs are significant. If you do shop here for meat, stick to products with the furthest expiry dates, inspect everything carefully, and plan to use or freeze your purchases immediately. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below letting me know where you've been buying your meat. Your support helps us keep creating content for Canadian shoppers like you. Now let's get back to it. At number 1, the store we recommend avoiding most for meat purchases is Save On Foods. Save On Foods is owned by the Pattison Food Group and is primarily found in Western Canada, particularly British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. For many Western Canadians, it's been a trusted neighborhood grocer for decades. So why is it topping our avoid list? First, let's talk about transparency and ethical sourcing. In 2024, the marine conservation organization Sea Choice released a report examining how Canadian retailers handle seafood sourcing and human rights issues in their supply chains. Save On Foods' parent company, Pattison Food Group, received the worst score among all Canadian retailers, coming in at just 14%. While this report focused on seafood, it raises serious questions about the company's overall commitment to ethical sourcing and supply chain transparency. If they're not paying attention to where their seafood comes from, can you trust them with your beef and chicken? Second, there's the price issue. Consumer reviews consistently mention that Save On Foods charges significantly more than competitors for comparable products. For a grocery chain that doesn't demonstrate superior quality standards, paying a premium doesn't make sense. You're essentially paying more for the same or potentially worse products. Third, the customer experience issues are notable. Multiple reviews mention problems with product quality, including expired items, moldy products, and concerns about how long items have been sitting on shelves. Others have noted misleading practices at the deli counter and inconsistent customer service. When you're paying premium prices, you should expect premium service and quality. That's simply not what shoppers are reporting. What's particularly frustrating about Save On Foods is that they don't seem to have the quality to justify their higher prices, nor the transparency to build consumer trust. They sit in an awkward middle ground, more expensive than discount grocers like No Frills, but without the premium quality commitments you might expect for those prices. Our verdict? Save On Foods represents poor value for Canadian meat shoppers. You're paying more without getting more, and the company's poor performance on ethical sourcing metrics suggests a lack of investment in supply chain quality. Western Canadians have better options. Now that we've covered the stores to avoid, let's talk about where you should actually be buying your meat. Coming in at number 2 on our recommended list is Metro. Metro is one of Canada's largest grocery chains, operating primarily in Ontario and Quebec. And when it comes to their meat department, they make some strong claims that are actually backed up by decades of experience. Metro boasts that they've been putting their skills to service meat enthusiasts for more than 70 years. That long history shows in their commitment to quality. They claim to only work with the highest quality meats, and the reputation of their butchers is built on impeccable freshness. But here's what really sets Metro apart from the stores we just discussed. They actually have butchers on staff who can provide advice and custom cuts. This is increasingly rare in Canadian grocery stores. If you don't see what you need, a Metro butcher can often help you get the right cut for your recipe. That personal service makes a real difference when you're planning a special meal or need something specific. Consumer feedback on Metro's meat department is generally positive. One reviewer specifically praised the very well-priced meat department and noted it's great for people who buy protein every day fresh. Others have described the quality as consistent and the meat counter as reliable. Now, Metro isn't perfect. Some customers have reported issues with stock levels, particularly early in the morning when the meat department may not be fully stocked yet. Others have had mixed experiences with their delivery service. But when it comes to the core product, the quality of the meat itself, Metro performs well. It's also worth noting that Metro has not been implicated in the underweighted meat scandals that have affected Loblaws and Sobeys stores. Our verdict? Metro offers a solid combination of quality, service, and reasonable pricing. The presence of actual butchers who can help with custom cuts is a significant advantage over fully prepackaged operations. For everyday meat shopping, Metro is a reliable choice. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. After looking at 6 other options, we've arrived at our number 1 recommended grocery store for meat in Canada. And the winner is Costco. Now, I know Costco requires a membership, and I know you have to buy in bulk quantities. But when it comes to the quality of the meat and the value you receive, Costco is in a league of its own in Canada. Let's start with beef quality. Costco is regularly praised by professional chefs and butchers as one of the best places to buy high-quality steaks. Their buying power allows them to secure top-grade beef at prices that get passed on to members. You can find USDA prime beef, the highest grade available, at Costco for prices that other stores charge for lower grades. Superstore here has CAB. Not only is it a lot more expensive, but does not have the flavor. The Kirkland Signature brand, which is Costco's private label, has built a reputation for quality that rivals or exceeds name brands. Their Kirkland Signature organic ground beef has been described as the highest quality ground beef that Costco sells, with reviews praising it as super fresh and flavorful. Unlike some store brands that are simply repackaged from the same suppliers, Kirkland Signature products meet strict quality standards that Costco enforces. Another major advantage is that Costco has on-site meat cutters in many locations. This means steaks are being cut fresh, and you can often request custom cuts if you don't see exactly what you need. This level of service is becoming increasingly rare in Canadian retail. You get to pick out the exact briskets, roasts, or steaks that work for you, rather than being stuck with whatever prepackaged options are on the shelf. Now, there are some considerations. Costco sources its beef from multiple countries, including Canada, the United States, and Australia. If buying exclusively Canadian beef is important to you, you'll need to check the labels carefully. Their lamb is mostly from Australia, and their chicken, pork, and ground beef are generally sourced from North American suppliers. The bulk quantities can be a challenge for smaller households. A typical pack of steaks might have 4 to 6 portions, and ground beef comes in large quantities. But with proper freezer storage, this is actually an advantage because you get the best per unit pricing while always having quality meat on hand. What really puts Costco over the top is the combination of quality and value that you simply can't find elsewhere in Canada. A beautiful prime ribeye at Costco costs what you'd pay for a choice grade cut at other stores. That's incredible value. And unlike the stores on our avoid list, Costco hasn't been implicated in the underweighted meat scandals. They have a reputation to protect with their membership model, and that shows in their quality control. Our verdict? Costco is the undisputed champion for Canadian meat shoppers. The combination of exceptional quality, competitive pricing, and the presence of skilled meat cutters makes it the best choice for Canadian families who want great meat without breaking the bank. So there you have it, our complete ranking of Canadian grocery stores for meat. If you're shopping at Loblaws, a real Canadian Superstore, Sobeys, No Frills, or Save on Foods, you might want to reconsider. The underweighted meat scandal, quality inconsistencies, and transparency issues we've discussed should give any Canadian shopper pause. These aren't small problems or isolated incidents. They represent systemic issues in how some of Canada's largest grocery chains operate their meat departments. Instead, consider Metro for everyday shopping, with the benefit of actual butchers who can help with custom cuts and provide knowledgeable advice about your purchases. Or make Costco your go-to destination for the best combination of quality and value in the country. Yes, you need a membership, and yes, you're buying in bulk, but the quality difference and the peace of mind knowing you're getting what you pay for makes it worthwhile. Remember, the meat you buy feeds your family. It's worth taking the time to shop smart and support retailers who respect their customers. Do you agree with our rankings? What's your go-to store for meat in Canada? The debate starts now in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more in-depth reviews that help Canadian families make smarter shopping decisions. Thanks for watching.